So in today's lecture, we will be solving another problem or another application. So here also we are given a situation uh, and we need to develop a ladder logic according to the situation. Okay. So for seeing the application, I will take you through one PDF of the book K.P. Ramchandran. So are you able to see the PDF?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here the situation is control of two pneumatic pistons. We'll just- So this is the control of two pneumatic pistons. This is the situation in today's lecture. Today we will discuss how two pneumatic pistons are controlled. Yesterday we tried to control the operation of a single cylinder. Only single cylinder was there, and we need to control the extension and retraction of a single cylinder. But when it comes to control the movement of two cylinders simultaneously or in some sequence or in some pattern, then the complexity of the application increases. And uh, similarly, the ladder logic development complexities also increases. So how to control the movement of two pneumatic cylinders, because we need the movement of the cylinder in certain pattern. The movement should follow certain pattern in this application. So first we try to understand what the application is, what are the different input devices, what are different output devices required in that application, and once we thoroughly know the application, then we can think of solving the problem. So first task or first few minutes we will spend it on understanding what the problem is. Okay. So unless and until you understand the problem, you cannot think of its solution. So we will spend some time on understanding the problem. So here you can see the task of the PLC is to extend the piston A, then piston B, and retract A and B sequentially using the arrangement shown in figure. Okay. So here you can see this is the figure. Here you can see that this is the cylinder 1. Okay, this is 1. This is cylinder 2. And this cylinder 1 and cylinder 2 is to be operated in particular sequence, and this sequence is given over here. Here you can see that this is the sequence we require. This is the sequence we require. That is extension of piston A. That means first the piston A will extend. Okay. Then second, then the piston B. So once the cylinder A completes its extension motion, the cylinder B, rather this is cylinder 1 or 2, we will say it is cylinder A and cylinder B. So this is cylinder A, this is cylinder A, and this is cylinder B. Now, what is the sequence required? First, cylinder A will extend, then cylinder B will extend, then cylinder A will retract, and then cylinder B will retract. Okay, so this is the pattern required. I repeat first. This is cylinder A extension, cylinder B extension, cylinder A retraction, and cylinder B retraction. So if I want to write it, then I can say that A plus, so A plus means extension of cylinder, then B plus, so B plus means extension of cylinder B, then A minus, that means retraction of cylinder A, and B minus, that is retraction of cylinder B. Okay. So according to the application, different patterns may be required. Like for example, sometimes we may require extension of cylinder A, so A plus, then extension of cylinder B, B plus, then we require the retraction of cylinder B first, so B minus, and then retraction of cylinder A, that is A minus. So there are different patterns which may require, but here the pattern we require for this application is this one. Okay? A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus. These sequence should not be disturbed, okay? And it should not coincide as well, unless and until this cylinder A reaches to its final position, the movement of the cylinder B should not start. Okay? Movement of cylinder B should not start. And once the cylinder A completes its travel, complete its extension motion, then only cylinder B will start its extension motion. And when cylinder B will finish the extension motion, after that only the retraction of cylinder A should start, and once the cylinder A reaches to its destination, then only the retraction of B should start. So this is quite a complex problem. Okay, this looks very easy, but in practical application, this is a very complex problem, because how to decide whether the extension of cylinder A is completed, how to decide the extension of B is completed, how to decide the retraction of A is completed, and how to decide the retraction of B is completed. So that is the problem associated with this application. Okay. So here we have seen then the sequence of motion can be annotated as A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus. So this we have already written. This is the sequence in which we require the operation, and the cycle will be started when the switch SW1 is closed. That means there is only one switch. So if you see here you can see that there is only one switch. There is only one switch, whereas in yesterday's application there were two switches for one cylinder. That means extension switch and retraction switch. So separate switches are there for cylinder 1 and for cylinder for one cylinder. But here only one switch is given. That means the moment you press S1, then this A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus, this pattern should be followed. Okay. So once you press this switch, then A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus. This pattern should be followed, and again coming back to A plus, B plus, A minus, B minus. So the entire circuit will go into the loop. Okay. So this is the application. The pneumatic pistons are controlled by using two 5x2 direction control valves. Okay, so here there are two 5x2 direction control valves. So this direction control valve is instrumental in extension and retraction of the cylinder. So there are two direction control valves, one for the cylinder A and another one for the cylinder B. And the actuation of this direction control valve is controlled by the two solenoids, one on the left side, another one on the right side for cylinder A solenoid. Similarly, uh, two solenoids for cylinder B DCV, direction control valve. Okay, so direction control valve in short is called DCV, direction control valve. So the direction control valve of cylinder B is having two solenoids, one on the left side and one on the right side. Okay, it is denoted by Y1, Y2, Y3 and Y4. So Y1 and Y2 are for cylinder A DCV and Y3 and Y4 are for cylinder B DCV. उसमें से भी Y1 is actuated when we require the extension motion, Y2 is actuated when we require retraction of cylinder A, Y3 will be actuated when we require extension of cylinder B, and Y4 is actuated when we require retraction of cylinder B. And the connections, here you can see that the connection of solenoid Y1 is given, this is the PLC, this rectangle, this shows a PLC. Okay, so this is a PLC, and we know that in the PLC there are two sides. So this is the output side. That means all the output devices are connected on this output side, and this is the input side, and all the input devices are connected to the input. Okay. Now, in this particular application, how many input devices are there? Only one input device is there. That is the switch SW1. And how many output devices? 4 output devices. That are the 4 solenoids. Okay. So 4 output device and 1 input device. And by using this 1 input device, you need to control the motion of these two pneumatic cylinders in this manner. Okay, in this manner, A plus B plus A minus B minus. Okay. This is called sequencing of cylinders, or it is also called as cascading. Cascading. Cascading of cylinders. Cascading of cylinders means sequencing of cylinders. So this is the situation. We will further read the problem. The PLC diagram shown in 13.91 represents the control of piston movement entirely with the help of time delay between the strokes. Okay. So here, how will you decide the extension motion of cylinder 1 is completed, or the retraction motion of cylinder A is completed, or extension motion of B is completed? So that all these things are to be controlled by using time delay. That means we need to use the timers over here. Okay? There are no limit switches available. So actually, we are not using the limit switches over here. So this thing is cut. We are not using the limit switches. So all these movements are to be controlled by using the timers only. The sequential operation of the piston is obtained with time delays with the use of timers. So here we need to use the timers. We have already learned what the timers are. There are two types of timers: on timer, off timer, and pulse delay. So we need to use appropriate timers for maintaining the sequence of cylinders or maintaining the sequence of operation. The relay contact Y100 and timer coil T100 are latched when press X1. So here we need to use the latch logic. Okay, we have learned what the latch logic is. So whenever we need to press any switch momentarily and we want the operation to be continued even if we release the switch, in that case we require the latch logic. So here also we need to use the latch logic appropriately for the operation. So it is essential that the solenoid Y2 to be de-energized for activating the left-hand switch of the solenoid operated 5/2 control valve. The unlatching of the circuit is achieved with succeeding timer contact. That means it is essential that solenoid Y2 to be de-energized for activating the left hand switch of the solenoid operated. Okay. So that means if you want to operate the Y1 solenoid, in that time the Y2 solenoid should be de-energized, deactivated. The unlatching of circuit is achieved with succeeding timer contact. Okay, so we need to maintain the uh, sequence of these cylinders by using timers. The timer contact T100 is energized for 5 seconds after A plus providing an energy signal to Y Y300 via an NC contact of T200. Okay, so we'll see how this sequence is maintained and how this operation is performed. Okay. Now, first thing that you should understand what the problem is, what are the sequence of the cylinders that we require, uh, and how many input devices, how many output devices that we need to control by using the PLC. Because unless and until you don't understand the sequence, you cannot develop a logic. So just tell me whether you have understood the problem or not. If you don't understand the problem, so there is no point in finding a solution. So have you understood the problem? Yes. Have you understood the problem? Am I audible to you? Hello? Okay. So here, so now we will see its solution. Now, can anybody tell? So first thing, I will erase down all these things so that you can see the original diagram. So I will erase it out. Now this is the diagram, and for extension of cylinder A, this Y1 should be energized. For extension of cylinder B, this Y3 should be energized, because we want extension of A first, A plus. That means Y1 should be energized first. Then the next we require is extension of B plus. So the solenoid which is responsible for the extension of cylinder B is Y3. So Y3 should be energized second. So you can write down the sequence. First is Y1, then Y3. Then after that we require A minus. Okay, third operation is A minus. And the solenoid which is responsible for retraction of cylinder A is Y2. So the next Y2 will operate, and in the last operation is B minus. That means retraction of cylinder B, and the solenoid which is responsible for the retraction of solenoid B is Y4. So the last operation is Y4. So this is the first operation, this is the second operation, this is the third operation, and this is the fourth operation. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the sequence: Y1, Y3, Y2, Y4. 1, 3, 2, 4. This is the sequence in which we require the operation. But Y1 will energized when the switch 1 will be pressed. Y1 will energized when switch 1 will be pressed. So we can start drawing the diagram over here. So we try to develop a diagram over here. Then we'll see the actual solution. So this is the normally open switch for SW1. This SW1 we call it as X100. Okay, we will give the name of this SW1 as X100. So this is X100. Okay. And the moment we press X100, then the extension of cylinder A should start. That means the Y1 solenoid should be energized. Okay, so in the output we write Y100. Okay. And we don't want X1 to be pressed for all the time till the extension of cylinder A takes place. Okay. We want momentary switching of X100. जो स्विच 1 है उसको हमको कुछ फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकंड के लिए दबा के रखना है, पूरी देर ऐसे दबा के नहीं रखना है. इसलिए मोमेंटरीली एक्शन के लिए क्या करते हैं, हम लैचिंग करते हैं. तो यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे हम, वंस द X100 is pressed, then the energization of Y100 should continue by latching logic. So what we will do, we will latch this circuit over here, and latching is done by the output device. यहाँ पे output device का है Y100. So we will latch this circuit by Y100. That means if somebody presses X100, then this will get closed, and this Y100 will get energized, and because of that this Y100 relay switch will get closed. And even if you release X100, even if this X100 again becomes open, still the supply will continue from Y100 relay switch. Okay, so here we have used Y100 as relay switch and Y100 as output device. Okay, so here we need to write down we, we need to write down the input devices and output devices. So here we have made one table. This is input device and this is output device. We have seen that there is only one input device, that is X100. X100 is nothing but the switch 1. And there are four output devices, Y100, Y200, Y300 and Y400. So these are the solenoids actuators to the direction control valves. So these many input devices and output devices are there. Now, to decide whether the extension of cylinder A is completed or not, we need to use timer over here. Okay? We need to use a timer because there are no limit switches which will give the indication that the extension motion of the cylinder is completed. So we are not using the limit switches. So instead, in the problem, it was stated that you use timers. Okay. So here we will use timer. So we will latch the output by using a timer called T100. So this T100 is the timer. We will use it for 5 seconds. Okay, we will use this timer for 5 seconds. That means the moment X1 is pressed, then Y100 will get energized. This Y100 relay switch will latch the circuit, and the extension motion or Y100 continue to be energized even if you release the switch 1 button, and at the same time the timer will also start it. Here we are using on timer set. Okay, so this T100 timer will also get started for 5 seconds. So by the time this timer finishes its timing, the extension motion of the A is completed, and then next we require the extension of cylinder B. Okay. So here what we will do, when T100 means after the timer finishes its counting, then we want the extension of cylinder B, and the solenoid which is responsible for extension of cylinder B is Y300. Okay. So here the switching operation of Y300 is taken care by the timer switch. Okay, so this is the relay switch for the timer. So when the timer finishes, ये TDN वाला जो बटन रहता है, हमने देखा है TDN वाला, तो TDN वाला जो स्विच है, वो वाला स्विच जब ऑपरेट होगा तब Y300 ये एनर्जाइज होगा, और इसका एनर्जाइजेशन कंटिन्यू रखने के लिए यहाँ पे हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे हम इसका Y300 का एक रिले स्विच दे देंगे, Similarly, to check the completion of extension motion of cylinder B, we will provide a timer over here, that is T200. So the moment Y300 gets energized, the timer T200 will also start its counting. So here also it will count it for 5 seconds. And once the T200 finishes its operation, so we will provide a relay switch over here. So this is T200. So the moment T200 finishes its counting, it should energize. Now next we require retraction of cylinder A, and that is taken care by the solenoid Y200. Okay, so this is Y200. Okay, and here also we will use the latch logic. So the relay switch of Y200 is latched with T200, and here also we will set the timer, a new timer, that is T300 for 5 seconds. So this 5 seconds will ensure that the retraction of cylinder A is completed, and then the last operation is retraction of cylinder B. So here what we will do, we will use the relay switch of the timer T300. So this is T300 ka relay switch, and here in the last we want Y400 solenoid to be activated, and here also the timer is required. Now you may ask that, sir, why timer is required over here? Because this is the last operation. Though this is the last operation of one cycle, but this cycle should continue for the infinite unless and until we stop the power supply. This sequence of operation should not start, should not stop. So that is why here we use T400. So this is T400, and this is also latched by using Y400. So this is the last sequence of operations required in one cycle, and in the end it is end. Now here you may see that this ladder logic what we have developed over here and the ladder logic which is given by the book is different, and this is because the condition which is provided in the question, okay, I'll read it out. So this one, giving the forward stroke of the piston, it is essential. This sentence is very important. It is essential that the solenoid Y2 be de-energized for activating the left-hand switch of the solenoid operated 5/2 control valve. So this Y2 will be energized only when this Y2 is de-energized. Because if Y2 is energized, then this Y1 cannot be energized because this is already energized. So it is important to de-energize Y2 first, and then only you can energize Y1. So for this, the other devices, so the other output devices Y200, Y300, and Y400, normally close contact switches are added over here. Okay, because the moment Y200 get energized, then it will cut the supply to Y100. Okay? Because when Y300 changes its status, then these switches will get open. That means for the motion of Y300, Y100, Y200 and Y400 will be de-energized. Similarly, for the operation of Y200, Y100, Y300 and Y400 will be de-energized. And for Y400 operation, the other three solenoids, that is Y100, Y200 and Y300 will be de-energized. Okay? So this arrangement is basically for de-energizing the previous solenoids. So here there is a mistake. It should be T300. This is the mistake in the book. You can make it correction. This is T300. This is normally closed switch for T300. Okay. Now this T300, that means the moment this 200 counting will complete, then the contact of Y300 will be established. Okay? ये जो है यानी इसका काउंटिंग, ये टाइमर का काउंटिंग कंप्लीट होता है, होते ही Y300 जो है ये डी एनर्जाइज हो जाएगा और यही हमको चाहिए. सिमिलरली जब टाइमर इसका कंप्लीट हो जाता है तो Y200 ये डी एनर्जाइज होना चाहिए, इसलिए यहाँ पे T300 ऐड किया है. सिमिलरली जैसे ही इसका काउंटिंग खत्म हो जाता है T400 का, तो उस टाइम पे Y400 का कांटेक्ट जो है वो डी एनर्जाइज होना चाहिए, इसलिए यहाँ पे एक नॉर्मली क्लोज स्विच यहाँ पे ऐड किया. So this is the ladder programming of the cylinder sequencing. The basic logic is in this diagram only, but for certain features such as for de-energizing the other solenoids when one solenoid is in operation, so for that these some of the NC switch, normally closed switches, are added in this diagram. But the basic soul or the basic sequence of operations are in this diagram only. Okay. So, do you have any questions in this sequence of cylinder operation?